Hey y'all, so last year I spent $34,000 to live in Austin, and I'm gonna tell you exactly all my secrets for living so cheaply. I've lived in Austin for a decade. It's the most expensive city in Texas. It's the 12th most expensive city to live in the entire United States. And according to a 2021 New York Times article, by the end of 2021, it was the least affordable major metropolitan region for homebuyers outside of California, surpassing hot markets like Boston, Miami, and New York City. Wah, wah, wah. We hate to see it. So how am I living here for only $34,000 a year? Well, I'm gonna tell you. But before I get into that, please do me a favor. Hit the like button to boost us in the algorithm. Hit subscribe if you love learning about saving, investing, all things money. Let's talk major expenses, and let's start with the most important one, housing. Austin's cost of living is 2.3% higher than the national average, according to salary.com, and the median cost to buy a home in 2021 was $536,000, while the median rent payment was $1,500. According to a 2021 Go Banking Rates study, the income you need if you're a homeowner in Austin is $98,007 a year, and the income you need if you're a renter in Austin is $94,455. Love the $4,000 difference there between renters and home buyers. Really goes to show you how expensive this city is and how inflated our housing market is. I am not shy about telling the world that I'm a 33-year-old who lives with my boyfriend, T-Bone, as well as my roommate, who we are going to call K-Money. I live in what is definitely central Austin, maybe a little north central Austin, but it's in a very hip, happening, cool, chic area, and housing prices around here are bonkers. Living with both my boyfriend and a roommate allows me to pay only $549 a month in rent. Now, I'm certainly no psychic, I don't have a crystal ball, and I can't predict the future, but it would be my educated guess as a financial expert and as someone who has lived in Austin for a decade that the housing market in Austin is not going to slow down anytime soon. Austin has been booming for the last 20 years. Elon Musk now lives here. We have a Tesla factory. There's a TikTok headquarters. Google, everyone is here. We have become a major business and tech hub. And I have multiple friends who've been able to sell their homes for $100,000 or more over asking price. And as a renter, rent around here, just in the city, not even just my neighborhood, is going up and up and up. According to a study from KUT Austin, rents have increased 20% in the last year alone. I grew up on the East Coast, right, where it's known for being expensive. I'm from Massachusetts, one of the most expensive states to live in the whole country. And I remember when I first moved to Austin, I was like, wow, it's so cheap here. Everything was cheap. Groceries were cheap. Drinks were cheap. And I used to be able to go out and have a good time for like $25. And now you get a single cocktail and it's $12. Beers are like $7 to $8. Austin is officially in an affordability crisis, and it's forcing people out of the city. If I didn't live with a roommate and my partner, I would definitely have to live by myself outside of the city. Like, I don't think I could afford to live in a one-bedroom apartment by myself. Maybe I could, but it would be like $1,800, and I just am not comfortable paying that much money to just rent. I mean, that's a mortgage, you know? Let's talk about the other big expenses that go into living a life. In such a crazy expensive city, last year I spent $6,700 on both rent and home repairs. Let's talk about all my other numbers. I'm just gonna go down all the different major categories and read to you how much I spent in 2021. So last year for health insurance and health-related things, I spent $2,627.72. Last year on travel, meaning like Airbnbs, flights, things like that, I spent $3,444.76. Last year on groceries, I spent $1,644.10. I spent $672 on my cell phone plan. I spent $708.13 on restaurants. Spent $269 on electricity and internet. I don't have to pay for gas. Our landlord pays gas. I spent $1,035.14 on transportation, and so that includes Lyft, trains, car insurance, gas, and car repairs. I spent $255.32 on clothing. I thought that was interesting. As I sit here in my hand-me-down top, I spent just under $30 on coffee shops, and I spent about $272 on personal care. That's kind of the category that I put like random stuff in, so that's not super clear to me where that money went, honestly. So let's break these down a little bit more. Let's talk about it. I know that food and groceries in particular is an area where people really struggle with overspending or managing costs. And I am a food ninja. So welcome to my kitchen. I wanted to show y'all how I keep my grocery costs so low. This is my pantry. This shelf right here is my roommate's. I don't do protein powder. But you can see here, this is all my stuff, my food, not all my food, but a bunch of it. I do all of the grocery shopping for myself and T-Bone, my partner, and we never, ever, ever buy brand names. So you can see from beans to peanut butter, to tomatoes, no brand names. No brand names in this household. And we are also dedicated fans of H-E-B. That's the grocery store that I truly love almost more than T-Bone, honestly. So I do all of my shopping at H-E-B. This is our fridge. The middle shelf is our roommate's K-Money's, but you can see here we're big meal preppers. So in here I've got scrambled eggs with roasted potatoes, and I make tacos with that. This has got cauliflower and beans in it, eggs, celery. What do we have in here? Oh, that's roasted cauliflower with buffalo sauce. This is some sweet potato roasted. And behind it in that is a big thing of vegan curry. So that is more than enough food to last us for a week. Yeah, other food things. We don't buy meat. We only eat vegan or vegetarian in the house. I think that goes a long way to saving on food bills. I also mentioned I spent $708.13 on restaurants last year. That seems kind of high to me, but T-Bone and I did spend about a month and a half on vacation last year. Kind of like a combo, like remote work, digital nomad life. We went to Western Massachusetts and New Hampshire and Vermont last year, and got Airbnbs and kind of like work played, and it was amazing and awesome, and I highly recommend it if you can do that. So during that time we were spending money on groceries while we were at like Airbnbs, and we cooked at home, but we also ate out, and so that's where a big chunk of the restaurants comes from. I would say on average, we eat out like 3 times a month. We really do eat the majority of our meals, like 90% of our meals at home. Let's talk a little bit about transportation, because this is another big area for people. And let's see, I spent $1,035.14 on getting around last year, again, including travel, not including flights, but like trains, lifts, Ubers, and a car. So T-Bone and I share a car here in Austin. So we split all the expenses for that. That is car insurance, gas, registration, things like that. We don't split the cost 50-50. We split it 70-30, T-Bone paying that 70%. And that's because I work from home and I really don't use the car very much. So as you can tell, I can keep my costs low through a fair bit of strategy and effort. Keeping my daily expenses and my annual expenses low is something that I'm actively working at. And a lot of this is because I want to retire at 42. I'm 33 right now while I'm filming this. I want to have the option of not needing to work anymore in less than 10 years. The goal is to have $1 million invested and anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000 a month in passive income cash flow by the time I'm 42. Now, in order to get to that $1 million, I really need to be saving and investing now. I didn't start investing until I was 27, so I'm basically trying to do this in what is that? Like, it would be 27, 37 is 10, so 15 years. I'm basically trying to retire in 15 years. And that means taking those 15 years and being absolutely over the top about how much money I am saving and investing each year. And it also really means taking advantage of specific circumstances while I have them. Like you heard me say, I am currently living with K-Money, our roommate, and she and I will not be living together forever. You know, at the end of our current lease, she's going to move out. So just by default, I will be living only with T-Bone. My rent will be going up, right? I plan to buy a house later this year. I won't be renting anymore. I'll have a mortgage. My my housing costs are going to go up. So for the past 3 years, while we have been living with K money, it's been really important to me to keep that rent low so I can shovel all my extra money into my investments. Let me know in the comments if you want to know how much money I invested in 2021, like how much money I saved and invested. I'm happy to share that information if y'all are interested. I do get asked a lot if I enjoy living this way or if I feel deprived. And the truth is, I really don't feel deprived at all. I can do anything I want. If I wanted to stop recording right now and go spend $1,000 at a restaurant, I absolutely could. It would not crumble my budget. It would not crumble my net worth. I could easily recover from that. But I don't want to do that. And I don't just mean blow $1,000 on one meal. I'm not particularly interested in eating out every night or buying a ton of new clothes for a couple of different reasons. It goes against my value of trying to produce as little waste as possible. And two, it goes against my long-term and biggest goal of retiring at 42. I think a lot of times we see people who live really frugally and we worry that their day-to-day sucks. And you see this criticism a lot of the FIRE movement, of people who are so focused on reaching financial independence that the road to get to financial independence sucks. That's not the case for me. Like I've said, last year my partner and I traveled for a month and a half. In 2021, we went to a beautiful part of the country during a beautiful part of the year and had an absolute blast. We were hiking on Tuesdays. We were working half days. And that was really enjoyable and wonderful for me. So my day-to-day, my current lifestyle is awesome. It also is allowing me to pursue this goal of retiring at 42. But I also recognize that not everyone wants to live the way I live. Not everyone wants to cook 90% of their meals. Not everyone can or wants to share a car. Not everyone wants to be in their early/mid 30s living with a roommate. And I really respect that. If it's not for you, whether because of a difference in values or because of a difference in access, that's totally fine. I'm not here to judge how you're living your life, how you're spending your money. I just want to let you know how I'm doing it. And if there's anything in my lifestyle that resonates with you, awesome. And if you're watching this video like, this bish crazy, also awesome. Totally fine if you think I am living my life in a terrible way. Totally fine, doesn't bother me. So that's how I managed to live off of $34,000 in Austin, Texas in 2021. Definitely let me know in the comments how much you're spending on major expenses in your life. I'm super curious to hear how much cost of living is where you are in the world. I'm also always looking for any savings tips, so definitely let me know in the comments. And if there's anything else you want to know about how I live so cheaply in such an expensive area, let me know. I'm happy to get into it with y'all in the comments. Please give this a thumbs up and subscribe on the way out.